Hi there, my name is Ken, and we're going to do a short little side note here on the F chord. And one of my YouTube friends wrote in and said, I'm learning some new chords, and one of them is the F chord, and it's giving me a lot of problems. Well, so Joe, I can just say join the club. It's one of the harder chords to learn, and but you keep at it. It's a very important chord to learn. And I'm going to just talk a little bit about some different ways to go about it during the learning process, and ultimately different guitar players will use the F chord or finger it in different ways, and so I'll talk a little bit about that too. Basically for the F chord there's three things, and that's true with any chord, but the F chord especially, that are important. One is technique, and so when you're fingering the F chord, you want to be coming down with your fingers as close to the right behind the fret as possible to get a nice clear sound. And of course that's true with any chord. A's, you know, if you're off behind the fret too far, you get a vibrating sound. You're not getting notes, clarity of the note. So that's true with any chord. You want to be having your fingers right behind the fret. So on the F chord, which is simply an E chord shape, normally you play an E chord like this, and so on an F chord you're doing the same fingering of the same shape, but using different fingers to do it. And so it's good to know, to learn this chord shape in this way with your pinky, your third finger, and your second finger, because all the F chord is moving up one fret and barring that with your pointer finger. So I was saying there's three important things. One is technique, so you get your fingers right behind the frets for clarity. Number two is strength, of course. In order to do this, when I first learned it, I couldn't do this. When I was first learning guitar years back, and it took me probably a couple of years to really get some clarity in a barred F chord. Not that I worked on it all the time, but when I, from time to time, I'd work on that. So, technique, finger strength, and there's little exercisers you can buy in music stores, finger strengtheners, or even a tennis ball or something, just to work with strengthening your fingers. And then muscle memory is important. So that's three things. Muscle memory, of course, so when you're coming from different chords, you can go right into the F chord and it'll be clear with the from the practice, from the strength of the fingers. Jump right into it. F, seventh, F minor. And of course with the F chord you've got a lot of options, just like with an A chord shape fingering. You can go right up the neck when you bar. You've got a B flat B, C, B flat B, and so on all the way up the neck. Same with the F, which is the E shape, E chord shape. Now it's an F because I went up a fret. That's what we've been working on. And now it's an F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat, B, C, D flat, D, and I can't get all the way up because I've got a 12 fret guitar and I've got no cutaway here on this one, which for most songs that I do it's fine, but it does mean I don't get the full 12 chords from any of my shapes that I'm using, but it gives you a wide range of options. But the important thing is getting that F chord down. Now, while you're working on that, it might take a good long time, it might take some months. There's other options, cheating options you might say, in a way you can do. You can use the first 4 strings. That's my F chord. Now that's still a little bit tricky in that you're covering the first 2 strings with your pointer finger. And that may take a little bit of time to get that down because it's not a C. It's like a C. You're using a pointer finger on the C note here. But when you're doing an F, you're just bringing it down a little bit. Bring these 2 fingers down to down one set of strings, and then you're bringing your pointer finger, your bring it down enough to cover both strings. Now I've got a nice 4-string F, and the nice thing about this, it leaves me my pinky that I can play some other notes on. Now I can do that here, but if I use my pinky here, now I'm changing the chord to an F7. So sometimes, even though I can do a bar F, I'll use just the first 4 notes. So that will get you by in a lot of songs while you're working on the strength and all that you need for the F chord. A lot of players will not bar, but they will do use the 5 strings. So okay, we go back to the 4 strings. When you get really much better at that, then you can work on 5 strings, which will give you a little bit more fullness. You still can't play that bottom string because it's not part of the F chord. It's not quite ready. And what a lot of players do is they'll bring their thumb around, and I can't quite get a clear sound on this because I've got a little bit wider neck. I don't tend to use my thumb as much this way, but a lot of players do, and I use a lot of that. And they get really good results with that. Some players even cover the first 2, string 5 and 6 with their thumb, and it gives them freedom to do some other things with their fingers. So you might try that. If that works better for you, then at least you don't have to work on or while you're getting strength in your pointer finger, you can still get a nice clear F chord using all 6 strings. So there's a 4-string F chord, there's a 5-string F chord, there's a 6-string F chord, which will take longer to get down, either way like this. And that's about all I can think of. So it has to do with technique, number 1, finger strength, number 2, and muscle memory, number 3. And of course those are important for all chords that you're learning in technique, but especially the F chord. And there are some certain other chords that are hard to get down to, but that is one of the big ones. So that's about all I can think of, and I'm sure maybe other players and guitarists who've been playing for years might have some other ideas too, but that should get you started and get you well on the road to getting that F chord down. So good luck to all of you who are working on that, and keep at it. Don't lose hope. It'll come.